introduce him because he is my teacher, and I have also learned a lot from such a great and renowned personality. But before I formally introduce him, I would like to invite Dr. Harinder Kaur, our worthy principal, Malwa College, to welcome our revered guest, Dr. Ashwini Bhallaji. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning to all. Good morning to all. A very warm welcome to Dr. Ashwini Kumar Khallaji from LCT Government College, Ludhiana, as he has agreed upon to deliver a lecture on contemporary issues in commerce. It's really immense pleasure for the teachers, students, and myself from Malwa College, Bombay, Simran. I know that commerce is a very important part of the economy. A significant part of economy is dependent on commerce, and as there are a lot of changes are taking place, so every sector needs to change according to the demands of the any sector. So, so far as I know, Dr. Ashwini Kumar Bhalla, he's an expert in his field, that is commerce, and he's very renowned figure in the field. So, sir, a warm welcome to you for the lecture. As I know that, a major part of our faculty is very young, so this lecture is not only for students, even the faculty of this college will gain from your lecture. And I'm sure and I am hopeful that this lecture will expand their horizons of knowledge. Again, a very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for delivering such a nice welcome address to our worthy guest and giving us such a platform. Before I proceed, I would like to thank our worthy president, Sardar Balbir Singh Rajewal, who always encourage us to arrange these types of events. Sardar Jagmohan Singh, Director Malwa College, who is always a guiding figure for us. Today, it is my great pleasure and honor to introduce Dr. Ashwini Bhalla. He is presently working as a professor in Postgraduate Department of Commerce, SCT Government College, Ludhiana. He is the Secretary, Faculty of Business and Management and Commerce, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Sir is the President of Punjab Commerce and Management Association. He is the Finance Secretary, Higher Education Institute Society. He has a teaching experience of about 28 years and professional experience of more than 7 years. And he has got published 9 books and 21 research papers in various research journals and edited books. He has experience as conference secretary of several national and international conferences. He has given presentation in 22 national and international conferences also. Sir has attended many refresher courses and faculty development programs. The list is not exhaustive here. He has a special contribution in designing and outlining the syllabus of commerce and management of Punjab University as a member of PG Board of Commerce and Management. With this fabulous introduction, I would like to invite our esteemed speaker, Dr. Ashwini Bhallaji, to share his views about today's topic from his expertise. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Upinder, for giving me nice introduction. So first of all, I'm very thankful to Rajewal ji for giving the good patronage to this college. Dr. Jagmohan ji, who has just joined, I just read his message in the message box, uh, welcoming me, Principal Madam Harinder Kaur ji, and convener of this today's seminar, Pupinder ji. So first of all, I congratulate Malwa Central College of Ludhiana, Malwa Central College Samrala, for organizing this very seminar for the students in this pandemic situation. The topic which we have selected today is very relevant in these days because we are in a pandemic situation. Most of our businesses are either affected by the COVID or struggling to achieve their objective in this scenario. So, as far as commerce is concerned, commerce is the soul of our economy. If anything bad happens to the commerce, if we are not in a position to conduct our businesses properly, it is going to affect the every sector of our economy, and even the common people who are now struggling for from the COVID. And then if the businesses and commerce are affected, they may be struggling for their employment and bread and butter. So, as far as business and commerce is concerned, it has an important role in the society. And it is not there that only role of business is to earn profit, but do so many things which are society centric. So, business need not to be only profit centric, but also society centric. So, if businesses are affected, if businesses are not properly conducted, or businesses are not tuned as per the requirements of the century, or the requirements of the coming days, then it is going to affect our life in a very, very severe manner. So today's business scenario has totally changed. Let me go back 25 years or 30 years back. The way the businesses were conducted at that time, way the commerce behaved, or way the commerce transact business, that is totally different today's. We are in different scenario now. We have the e-business type, e-commerce. We have the technology these days. We are becoming more quality conscious, more awareness of the customers are there. There are different things which has affected the commerce, and these contemporary issues which are of the present days, and which we are affecting, that is going to have a total impact on the scenario of our life on this earth. So, if businesses are affected, our standards of living are going to change, our employment generation capabilities are going to change. So, therefore, we have to be very conscious how the business is affected, how the businesses are going on. So, today's I will be talking about contemporary issues in commerce, along with certain examples, so that we can arrive at a conclusion how should change our business style, how we should function, what strategies we should adopt so that we are in a position to cope up with the requirements of the day. So let me share my presentation with all of you, that is contemporary issues in commerce. So I'll be talking to you on various issues which are very important from the commerce point of view and which affect our life also. So the contemporary, if we talk about the contemporary issues in commerce, there is a total organizational climate change in business. Now, if we look at the present type of business, the way we are conducted, organizational are increasing witnessing change, increasingly witnessing change. We are witnessing engineering, we are restructuring ourselves, we are downsizing our styles, and even we are making transformation in the organizational culture. A lot of mergers and acquisitions are taking place, and this change is not only in the outlook of business, this change is also from the attitude, the way the businesses are conducted. Similarly, there is a lot of re-engineering in the styles the businesses are conducted, the organizational re-engineering. So from sole trader to partnership to companies, and now big corporate giants are returning. Similarly, there is a restructuring. Two types of restructuring are taken place, internally or externally. From the internal point of view, there is the internal restructuring in the organization structure, and similarly, there is an external restructuring also. Mergers and acquisitions are taking place, and so many downsizing are also going on, and there are number of mergers and acquisitions which are taking place, and the companies which are not in a position to deliver according to the requirements of the day, they are going to be wound up or either merged, or they are acquired by the big giants. So we are managing and coping with the change. So the total organizational structure is changing, and the small businesses, even we look at the small shop which were conducted at the rural place or in the small cities, their total outlook has been changed, and they are restructuring their style of doing the business. Now customer is more king than the earlier it was, because we have to go to the at the doorstep of the customer to provide the goods and services. So this organizational climate change demands something from us. So accordingly, you have to work. So as far as the corona outbreak and our economy is concerned, the COVID outbreak has affected our businesses in a big way. Since December 2019, the whole world is struggling with the COVID 19. And if we look at the Indian subcontinent, it is also witnessing its impact from the February last to till now. There was a complete lockdown from March 22nd, 2020, and some states remained under curfew, and still we are struggling with so many restrictions which are put up by the government. Even Punjab state has a night curfew, and many other states has a night curfew. And still we are talking about that in UK. There is another kind of severe COVID virus, which is 75% more progress to spread over. So there are a number of issues which are taking place. And the large population, large segment of our population is under fear. So under this scenario, we cannot say that our businesses are not affected. We cannot say that because of these situations our lifestyle is not affected. It has affected in a major way. So this corona outbreak has affected our economy. When I say that this has affected our economy, it means that our businesses are affected, because the soul of the economy is our commerce and businesses. So Indian has expected to lose over 32,000 crores, $4.5 billion every day because of this COVID outbreak. And up to 53% of the businesses in the country were projected to be significantly affected by this COVID outbreak. And if we look at the labor scenario, 92% of the Indian labor is in unorganized sector and has no work, and they had lost their job during this COVID period. Our supply chain has been under stress, and various businesses such as hotels, airlines are cutting the salaries of their employees and laying off the employees. So this is the scenario which is presented before you because of the COVID-19. And this has severely affected our economic growth also. Our Prime Minister before the COVID-19 was dreaming to have a 5 trillion economy. And this dream has been washed away for the time being. We are witnessing negative growth and sometimes zero growth. So our manufacturing sector, our real estate sector, our accommodation sector, our food sector, tourism sector has been severely affected. And 10.5% work hour has been reduced. Large segment of our population, that is 25.7% in the rural areas and 13.7% in the urban areas, is living near poverty line and has been severely affected. Many of the startups, without the startup scheme of the government of India, large number of loans were given. Young generation started their businesses and startups so that they can have their own employment. They have been, many of them has been finished. And let us see the our Manrega workers. Out of the 130 crore population, 25 crore Manrega workers were not able to earn bread and butter during this lockdown period. So this COVID-19 has impacted our economic growth. So if the businesses are affected, definitely I'm talking about manufacturing sector. The full ships are not going on. Real estate sector, people have no money to invest in. Our accommodation sector, like hotels, they have been severely affected. Food sector, people are very under fear to have food from the outside. Our tourism has been badly affected. So all these businesses, because these are the lifeline of our commerce activities, if these are affected, this is going to have a bad effect on commerce and business in an economy. As if the businesses are affected, naturally economic growth is going to be affected, because not only demand side but also supply side has been affected, and this has led to the poor economic growth during the this period because of the COVID-19. So after the lockdown, even now the lockdown is not there, but still we are facing certain restrictions. World Bank has reported that labor supply shortages will be the major factor. So we have also witnessed in Punjab that most of the migrant labor have moved to their native places, and still they are not in a mood to return back. And it is has posed a major crisis to the industry as well as our agriculture sector. And our trade cost has increased tremendously, which is going to increase our cost of production, and the prices of the products will also is are going to be affected because of this. So all these situations demand that we must change our strategies. We must analyze the way the businesses are conducted. We must analyze the from the various aspects that how can we face these kind of situations. There are certain alarming situations in our economy also, because our businesses are based on the public expenditure. If the public will cut down their expenditure, which is expected that 60% cut down in expenditure is there from the public side. Even in your household, you may have witnessed that you have postponed many expenditure. You are not buying new clothes, you are not buying going to the hotels, you are not going to the restaurants in that way, the way you were going earlier before COVID. So public has cut down the expenditure up to 60%. So this 60%, which was for the manufacturing sector, for the consumer sector or services sector, this is not spending by the government. So this is going to affect the businesses in a big way, because when the demand will not be there, manufacturing will not be there. If the manufacturing will not be there, our employment generation will hit badly. So out of 60% cut is expected, and the 40%, the people which they are spending on the daily needs like grocery item. Major shift is there in the buying behavior of the customers. So even tourism industry is going to be finished for the time being. That has witnessed various changes. So our severely affected industry areas are financial services sector. People are not making much investment. Our auto sectors, information technology sector, foreign direct investment, our mutual funds, our cement industry, because when real estate sector is affected, the people are not going for the new construction. Our crude oil has been hit badly. So all these are the affected areas of the business which has been affected badly by the this COVID situation. So now industry leaders, it is the responsibility of the industry leaders that we have to change our mindset. So it is also a very good contemporary issue that leadership must change their growth strategies. So industry leaders to redesign their growth strategies. Now we have to find out the methodology of sharing profits with the customers and other stakeholders. We have to change the style, because our only aim is not to earn profits only. We have to become honest as a taxpayer. We have to produce an environmentally safe products and services. You must focus on efficient pricing, which suits all type of stakeholders. We have to develop indigenous technology. We have to give importance to the local MSMEs and explore the possibility of using local raw material. So this need a total shift in the strategy of the business leaders or the commerce leaders. Unless and until you share profits with the customer, our pricing will not be judicious from the customer point of view. Unless you pay tax to the government, government will not be able to make much spending for the welfare of the people, which ultimately increase the income of the people and then generate demands. Similarly, if you are not producing environmentally safe products and services, this is going to hit the health issue of the public. Efficient system of pricing is needed. Indigenous technology needs to be developed, so that the bottlenecks which has been created by the COVID and it has impacted the business very severely needs to be cured off from this point of view. So industry leaders need new strategies. They must redesign their growth strategies so that we can cope up with the new and contemporary issues which has been generated by the COVID-19 situation in the business. And a very right and scientific approach is needed from the business point of view. We have to strengthen. Our prime minister is time and again talking about it, Make in India initiative. When he talked about Make in India initiative, it is not a slogan of one political party, it is the slogan of the masses. Because unless and until we promote the indigenous products, we promote the Indian made products, we cannot create employment opportunity of our Indian people. We must focus on commercialization of the indigenous technology. Number of though advanced technologies are developed at the world level, but we have to focus which kind of technology can generate employment for the Indian people and give recognition to the Indian science. So we have to develop the technology driven transport, transparent public distribution system, because there is large segment of population which is not able to get right kind of goods and services at the right price. So efficient rural healthcare delivery we have to develop, because this is ultimately create businesses in the health sector. Drastic reduction of imports are needed, because our import bill is higher than our export bill that we have to manage, and adoption of emerging technology domains like artificial intelligence at the indigenous level, and looking after both demand and supply uh, constraints, we have to look into it. So scientific approach is needed from the business point of view. Either you are doing a sole trade business, either you are doing the partnership business, or doing the business at the corporate level. A total shift in approach is required, and that is needed at the scientific approach. So every individual to the corporate level have to think about that, how can we develop such kind of system which strengthen our Indian made products and indigenous technology by using the artificial intelligence, and looking after both demand and supply changes. Our priorities needs to be redefined from individual to the government. Every business, this is one of the very contemporary issue, that every business has to become their own brand. They should be recognized from their services. They should be given value by the customers by providing quality goods and services. So we should not focus on importing the quality goods and services from outside, but you have to become your own brand so that you can be successful in future. If you are not in a position to build your own brand, definitely you are not going to gain and survive in the future. So developing your own brand is the need of the hour. You have to develop a new vision, and for developing the new vision, synergetic rethinking is required at all levels. When I say at all levels, it means at every structure of organization, from the lower to upper level, synergetic rethinking is required with cohesiveness of thoughts. An honest and visionary approach to develop new India is required, and broad plan to deal with corona type exigencies need to be developed at the businesses level also. Now this corona or the COVID situation has given rise to many opportunities also. You have to convert this crisis into new opportunities by developing a new vision. You must look into it. Every situation in the life brings some opportunities, and you have to catch such opportunities so that by doing the welfare of the people, you can develop such a situation where you can meet the expectation of your businesses as well as the expectations of the society. Now time is demanding that you must reboot yourself. You always say when there is a virus in the computer, you try to reboot it so that the viruses are removed by developing certain antiviruses techniques. We have to develop such kind of situations where we have to prevent another COVID-19 outbreak. Why this was created, why this happened, because we break ourselves from the nature. We don't care about the nature. So this will be a critical for any country or business. A new wave of COVID-19, if it comes, it will be very hard to recover from. So we should prepare detailed COVID-19 guidelines and make it a mandatory compliance for companies post-lockdown period. Businesses needs to put extra effort to make sure their factories are COVID-19 compliant. Not only COVID-19 compliant, but we have to develop such kind of work culture so that we are compliant of any kind of standard operating procedure which can prevent any kind of virus to enter into the human being. So this step will also boost confidence, build confidence in the workplace, and will ensure better production. So this is the need of the hour, that we must reboot ourselves to cope up with the changes which are going on at the world level to face any kind of exigencies. And as I have already said, that we have to convert this crisis into opportunities. The world has never witnessed such kind of situations. And this is an unprecedented situation, and we are all locked and working. Many people are working from home. Even our educational institutions are not able to open up. We have to convert this crisis into opportunities because COVID has taught us so many lessons. We must get lessons, and we must recover from these kind of exigencies and develop a new model of doing the business where work from home is possible, studying from home is possible, and even then we can achieve our all objectives by interacting with our customers, by interacting with our students in a suitable manner. So what kind of possibilities may be there? Many people are crying now that educational institutions are closed and we are teaching online. If world can work online, why can't we? So many people says that by doing online teacher, we don't have teaching, we don't have the personal rapport with the students. You can create personal rapport with the students even working online. But for that purpose, every stakeholder of this country, even businesses, government, and society, has to work together. We must focus on developing such infrastructure that we can be face to face online with each and every student, and develop a new model of teaching, new model of reaching out to the customer. So by doing so, we can convert this crisis into opportunities, because basically these are the man-made situations in which we are uh, encompassing it. So therefore it is the need of the hour that we must convert these things into opportunities. Every crisis has a new opportunities in the carpet. Why should we waste this time? We have to utilize these opportunities for the benefits of the humanity. We have to invest in ourselves and find a new way. What kind of new methodology can be there? This is the thinking required at all levels. Otherwise, if you just sit down and don't think anything and don't try to build a new confidence in the minds of the customers, in the minds of the society, then you will not be able to cope up with the crisis. So try to find out the new things which can be developed out of this. Another contemporary issue which is going to be faced by the businesses are the lack of the manpower. And when I say that lack of the manpower, that means lack of trained manpower. So this is going to be loom issue post lockdown period regarding the workforce or managing the people. So most of the workers which were migrant, they are not able to come back. You have to build a confidence. In Ludhiana also, in April, May, or June, when the most of the people were going back, why they were going back? The situation was analyzed by us with the help of the district administration, and we find that there is a lack of confidence building mayors from the industry side, that they were not able to satisfy their laborer, and they were forcing to live in the poor conditions. So that's why the people were migrating from this place to the another place. So now the company will have to end up operating at a very low capacity. This will require businesses to take up substantial measures for worker safety and providing benefits like housing near the workplace. So businesses will also require think out of box and establishes process to employ available workforce efficiently. For example, we have to organize multiple shifts, as an available workforce cannot work together due to COVID-19. So earlier, if 40 people were working in one room under one roof, now we have to break them in working multiple shifts without having extra cost and providing other benefits to the workers and utilizing available capacity of the units. So now our thought, innovative thought, using the artificial intelligence, using our creativity, we have to find out the way of lack of manpower, how we can manage. This is one important issue which the commerce people will be facing. Now, second part is unanticipated demand. So COVID-19 has impacted the supply chain across the globe. As we have already discussed, that many people has cut down their expenditure by 60% and even 40%, but they are spending on the daily needs. So it is very difficult for the businesses to predict where and what level of demand will come because the situations are uncertain. So businesses should activate scenario planning teams. So in every business, either at the lower level of investment or the higher level of investment, you must activate scenario planning teams. And these scenario planning team will help to cover multiple demand scenarios and plan solutions accordingly and manage other stakeholders like vendors to ensure supplies. Now the customers demand supply at their doorstep. How can you do it? And even COVID situation, you have find that many businesses were providing these facilities at the doorstep, and we have to continue doing it. So providing the goods and services at the doorstep of the employees to manage unanticipated demand will be a very, very looming issue for all of us in the business post COVID like situations. Similarly, there will be is going to be a liquidity crunch in the economy. Businesses have started facing massive working capital cash flow issues due to lockdown, and they will continue even post that. That is because of the reduced demands. Even our MSME sector, startups has been badly affected. Though the government has started taking steps via SIDBI and other schemes to help MSMEs, but still need to do more. To help these small businesses, government can procure from MSMEs and startup, thus helping them. So liquidity crunch is going to be a looming issue in the post-lockdown situation. Similarly, supply chain. Once the lockdown is lifted, one of the most crucial thing before us is to find out the exponential growth to ensure physical supply chain operates seamlessly without any obstruction. As a country, we have to define clear guidelines on the movement of the goods. Even states, businesses, and industry bodies would need to work together in making this happen. So, supply chain will also be a very contemporary issue in commerce. And the most importantly, we have to connect with the universe. We have to change our attitude. We are not the masters of the universe. We have to change our attitude with regard to the universe. We have to take care of each and every segment of this universe. We cannot live by ignoring the environmental factors. If you say that you are producing something but creating pollution, you are not going to survive. Some problems will be created for you and it will be very difficult for you to cope up with. So connect with the universe, make strategies in business also, that how can we gain profit without harmfully affecting the society in terms of environment. So only then we can survive. This is also going to be environmental and sustainability of the things are going to be very, very important looming issue as contemporary issue in commerce in future. And here I would like to discuss with you Ratan Tata's statement, a very renowned industrialist of India who has contributed a lot. He said that year 2020 is not a year of profit, but of sacrifices and saving the life on the earth. It means the businesses has to change their style of functioning. They must focus more on societal benefit without affecting badly to the society. We need to observe and change the parameters to observe the growth, economic growth. Parameters to observe the economic growth need to be redefined. Presently, we are thinking that economic growth is there when there is a percentage increase in the GDP, but we don't want to now define the growth, economic growth, not in terms of growth in GDP, but in terms of happiness and health index of the citizens. So, in terms of social security of the population, in terms of quality of its human resources, in terms of quality of immunity of the population. So these are the looming issues which needs to be incorporated in the strategies of the commerce and business. Only then we can survive. If a big industrialist who has contributed, Tata Steels and Tata Group of companies has contributed a lot, if they are saying that profit is not an issue, now we have to see that saving the life on the earth is to be ensured, and you have to see the happiness and health index of the people, social security, quality of the human resources, quality of the immunity of population. That means this issue is very, very important. And this is going to be a big issue in developing a new model of commerce and business in the future. As far as the key challenges are there for uh, modern commerce is concerned, because now we are working the borderless economies. We are not there. It is not there that in India we can produce the goods or do something, because you have to supply the goods at the outside world also. There are no boundaries now in terms of doing the business. So any business, because online system is there, online payment is there, online delivery of the services is there, online booking of the order is there. So because we are working borderless, even small room you may have and you can supply the goods at the whole level, so you must develop strategies accordingly. So you have to build trust and brand as a key differentiator. So if you are doing a business, you must develop. Even a small shop which is there in the locality, they try to develop their own brand. So everybody says that we should buy the grocery from that shop only because his behavior is very good, his attitude is very good, he supply the goods with good quality. So if your desperation for profit is there, that is lead to poor experience. So lack of cross departmental collaboration in the even one factory is there. You have to be very personalized in providing services to the consumer, and ease of use and technology must be there, so that you can quickly upgrade your business as per the requirements of the area. So these are the key challenges and the core issues in commerce which needs to be there. Secondly, there is a need to develop a competitive dynamics in the business. There must be high rates of innovation and rapid technological changes which are occurring every minute. So if you don't incorporate such kind of innovations and technological changes in your business, then you are going to be outdated very soon. So increasing return of scale, cost of production reduces with scale, because we have to work on increasing return of scales, and we have to reduce the cost of production so that the pricing which is going to be charged from the customer are going to give the better results. So network effects, demand side of economies need to be focused, because now the situation is generating demand. You can generate demand only when you are very competitive, and in terms of prices, in terms of quality, and providing these goods and services at the doorstep of your customers. So let us see this how the we have moved over the years. Earlier we were in the agrarian economy where weather, climate, livestock, and irrigation were affected. Then we moved to the industrial revolution, that is raw material, machines, technology, focus on goods, people presence was there. But today we are in the information revolution, where people mindset, talent, new technology, knowledge, internet, and focus on services is the need of. You may be producing some goods and some goods very efficiently, but if you don't provide after sales services, your people's mindset is changing every day, so they are becoming more talented. Even in your organizations too, you have to change your mindset. You have to incorporate new technology. You have to be coped up with information and data daily. And even your organization must become a knowledge creator, use internet, and focus should be on the services. So there is a shift in factors that drive the business, that drive the commerce. Now there is this globalization syndrome has created many challenges for you. For example, there is a chaotic compensation, radical change is going on, strategic alliances are taking place in among companies, and there are number of complexities which are raising, uncertainties are raising, flexibility should be there, digitalization and virtualization is there in the global syndrome. So if you don't cope up with all these things and you don't cope up with the information revolution, then you are not going to be successful in the future. So these are the very important looming issues. So we have to move from industrial revolution to the knowledge economy, otherwise you will not be able to success. And our businesses are not going to be untouched from that. If you say that these are not my decisions, this will be taken by the government at the large scale level. No, if you don't prepare yourself for change, then you will not be successful in this way. So our similarly, the another looming issue before us is that taxation structure and the business laws has also changed. You have witnessed that now we have introduced the GST. Our income tax laws has been changed. Our businesses laws has been changed, and different law structures are operating in different states. Accordingly, these are the important issues for which you have to prepare. If you don't know how to prepare the GST return, then you will not be, either you will be caught up in wrongdoings or will not be able to cope up with the requirements of the day. So all these laws you must be familiar with and prepare your organization accordingly to cope up with these laws. There is a need of behavioral shift from your side. You have to be resilient. You have to reset yourself and reskill yourself. So these are the three mantras which I think in these contemporary issues, uh, which help you to cope up with all these: your resilience, your resetting your businesses, and reskilling your skills of yourself as an entrepreneur or as a employee of the organization. Only then you will be able to do. So this COVID situation has changed the total commerce scenario in our country. Every business person, right from the lower level to the large scale level, have to change their mindset, have to reskill and reset their businesses so that the future is looking towards them. Many crises are coming into this. In past also we have faced many crises, but this crisis is more severe than the earlier crises. But this has given us so many opportunities also, and you have to convert this crisis into opportunities by discussing all these issues. Only in business, only that entrepreneur or successful person will be there which are aware about all these facts, which are innovative, and which are meeting the requirements of the knowledge economy. Otherwise you will not be able to fulfill the objectives of your business. Mind you, this COVID situation has taught us that businesses are not only done for profits, but they are also having societal objectives. Unless and until you focus on the society, you focus on the environment, you focus on the sustainability, you focus on the governance laws, you will not be able to success. So these are the few things we must take into account so that our businesses can be successful in future. So this is all from my side regarding the various issues which are the contemporary issues of the day, on which we must give a thought so that we can retune our businesses. Now questions are welcome from the participants.
I think, sir, there is no question.
Achha, okay, there's no question. Okay.
If anybody wants to ask anything from sir,
There are certain questions which has been put in the chat
chat
box.
box.
I'm just going to read them and discuss with all of you.
Okay, sir.
Shweta Mittal has written one thing, that I have a great society centric business idea which requires zero investment if any is interested. So, Shweta, you can discuss on the chat and send to all. Similarly, Dr. Ranjan Garg has written that many businesses are recovered from the COVID era, but the still market is running from 8,500 to 13,500. Pharma is doing good. Uh, Large scale of industries are doing good. People realize the importance of insurance. PIC is not very gloomy, and your projected 70% recovery is there in India. Trained manpower is a problem in industry. So, as far as whatever you have discussed here regarding the pharmaceutical industry, regarding the industry relating to the insurance sector, they are all in the services sector and the basic requirements. So that comes under the basic needs of the people. So medicine is a basic need that naturally this is going to grow, because when the people are going to be affected by the health hazards, they are going to do. But as far as you have said that 70% recovery is there in India, absolutely right. India has done well in recovering from the COVID situation, but still need to be done. But if you don't continue with revamping your industry, the problem will persist and you will be again encountered with such kind of difficulties. Though the people has realized it, but still the trained manpower in a new kind of environment to work, that is the needed. Because earlier pre-COVID situation, like in our education industry also, people are not trained to teach online and conduct classes online, so that's why we are facing a problem. Same is the with in case of the industry also. So these are the some questions which were posed, so I have tried to answer it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for delivering such an informative lecture. In your lecture, you have touched almost each and every contemporary issue of commerce in this post-COVID era. You have very well said, sir, that we must to convert this COVID crisis into new opportunities, because COVID has taught us so many lessons. We must be ready to learn from and accept the challenges posed by COVID-19 pandemic, and to get out of it through the best use of the information technology. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this informative lecture. I am sure that, as always, your lecture will ignite the minds of our students to learn more and more things, more new things. And this lecture will also be very prolific in the series of the activities of the Department of Commerce. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us.
Thank
Moving
you.
towards the end of this lecture, on the behalf of the Department of Commerce, thank you very much all the participants for gracing this event and making this seminar successful. I would like to thank our worthy principal, Dr. Harinder Kaur, for providing us this platform to the Department of Commerce. I am, and My special thanks to Sardar Jagmohan Singh, who is being with us. And I am heartily thankful to my colleagues in Commerce Department, and Ms. Amanpreet Kaur from Department of Computer Science, and to all my students of Department of Commerce who have made this event successful. Once again, I am very thankful from the core of my heart to Dr. Ashwini Bhalla, who spared his precious time for us from his busy schedule. And I hope he will guide us in future also. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, should I wind up the meeting?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.